2-1 Kisu, who I want to say is Diamond. I have cast her before, I can't remember right now. But it was 2-1. So I'm thinking like, you know, do the order of operations type thing. Telia is going to beat Kisu 9 times out of 10 at the very least, I would guess. So she'll probably beat Miyamori. But, you know, styles can be different. Things can go haywire. Estimations can be wrong. Those type of things, you know. But it's a best of 3 semifinal. They both are already making some money. I'll have to get Miyamori's match reno information afterwards. In the top left is the pink Zerg. She is Telia. In the bottom right is the red Zerg. She is Miyamori. Which is certainly a Japanese name. I don't know if it's a, you know, just that she likes the name. Maybe it's an anime character. Maybe it's random. Maybe it was randomized by a WoW name randomizer and we all played WoW 8 years ago. Who knows? Red versus pink. Oh, hopefully the lings look different. Oops. Oh, okay. All right. So, hatchery to hatchery, pool to pool, gas to gas, all very similar stuff. Telia, pretty dominating in this matchup. I haven't seen her versus a Protoss yet, because again, we don't have very many Protoss. And maybe that's where she's weak. Maybe if we had a Masters Protoss who would throw a couple of all-ins her way, we would see a weakness. But versus Terran, even against some cheesier builds, she still has a handle on things. And against Zerg, she really has a handle on things, except that she's facing QB, who manages to find some weak points here and there. But Telia, with an established experience in tournament play, she used to be a pro player of the NA scene years and years ago, just constantly shows why she wins tournaments. It's not just because her raw skill, you know, her MRR is the highest, I think, right now. She's gone back into playing StarCraft since the very beginning of the Banshee tournament. It's that she knows how to play tournaments, so. An undervalued skill, and one of the reasons that participating in tournaments can be a very important thing to do, even if you think or you know that you're not going to win. Even if there's, you know, nothing but pro gamers signed up, but it's open to all. If you want to give it a go, you're going to learn some things. And you're going to learn how to deal with the pressure of being cast sometimes, if you're chosen to be so. You're going to learn how to deal with the pressure of just being in a tournament in a best of 3 against someone over and over again. How to read into them, how to, you know, fit builds around them. And even if you never win anything, you'll have that established in case you do ever get really, really good, you know, GM and start making waves. At third base, also very even. It's Telia who attacks first. First blood on top of this hatchery, I guess. So it's not really bleeding, is it? They both took different third bases, so I'm guessing this is going to be favorable for Telia, believe it or not. It's kind of weird to say who's favorable for, but when it comes to a mirror matchup, it's going to be talking about styles. And Telia has played a lot more roaches lately. She does usually prefer lings. So we have an evolution chamber on the way, which I believe is going to be for a ling upgrade. She could just start +1 missile and then on a roach run a little bit later, and that still could be open, but she has a +1 carapace. All right. But anyways, she's going for an aggressive style. I guess it doesn't matter if she's lings or roaches, as long as she's the one being aggressive, then, you know, you want to kind of, if you're being the defender, right? If that's the way things are going to go, you want to have your base as far away as possible from their third base, which is usually their jumping off point. Perhaps reading a little bit too much into it, because I don't know how Miyamori plays. I mean, she could be the aggressive one. She could be putting her hatchery exactly there because she knows most Zerg players put this one there, and she wants to have an instant counter, snap back, and punish Telia. Or maybe she's just more comfortable with that positioning. I don't know what that was. What was that? I didn't catch... Looks like an evolution chamber was canceled. Banelings is still up and running. 8 Banelings are on the way to protect this third base. That's a lot of Banelings to be used, and honestly, if Telia just trades out somewhat well here, I'm talking like even 4 lings to a Baneling, she might be okay with that, because that was a lot of gas and thus a lot of minerals in a weird way used. It also costs minerals, but the point is you're mining gas, a tougher resource to collect, so the more you shoot out with gas units, the better. And I think Telia is going to be okay with what she did there, because she is joining behind this. She got 6 more drones here, and Mayor Mori's right behind her. But the point is, she is behind her. Telia is also piling on the pressure. While she doesn't have her own Baneling, she's able to deal with it. If she was, you know, popped off instantly by one Baneling and was forced to retreat and wait for reinforcements, and Miyamori, you know, actually initiated the counterattack with 6 Banelings and 20 Lings, Telia would be in trouble. But now Telia has that +1 Carapace, so even if that situation does arise... That sounded really weird. Does arise. Anyways, she'll have that 1 extra hit in case she makes a mistake. It's still a dangerous way to play, to be honest. Certainly not one that I suggest anyone playing unless you're really good and very confident in ZVZ. But it is certainly a way you can play. And with the +1 Carapace, you not just survive further Ling attacks and quarrels and whatnot, you also contribute to your Roach attack. So if you get that +1, if you don't die on your way here, then you have this 1/1 Roach attack with Ling reinforcements, you know, good Ling reinforcements, and things get really, really, really testy. It was a very popular all-in for like a month. It's like every single game was it. Telia might just be able to win without the Roaches. I mean, I don't know, the Banelings are actually done, never mind. She's still trading out super well. Now, I mentioned in the beginning of the series that Miyamori is European, so I didn't get to get a good look on her rank. But the delay here could certainly be attributing to the loss of the Baneling to 1 Ling here and there. It's probably the most obvious place that ping really puts you at disadvantage. Drones are going to be sniped, and if they're not sniped, it's still a case where Miyamori is trying to react to this, right? She's sending units over. She's making sure they aren't dying something stupid. She's looking at her base. She's not initiating any type of attack on top of Telia, where, you know, maybe that would make Telia start to be a little bit nervous, a little bit pressured. It's not happening. As it is, they both are starting to miss macro a little bit because of all of this, back and forth. Miyamori just a little bit late to her gases, or perhaps had to take them out because of a Ling run by or something like that. Or maybe she's just utilizing her gases better, but she is banking some gas. Telia, ditto, but also the gas as well. Miyamori has gotten up 3 drones, but will always be behind that upgrade. And that's where the timing of Telia really gets quite strong, right? Like, she's going to hit it with +1, 2 +1. Roach speed to roach speed is actually going to be favorable for Miyamori, but Miyamori's not going to have that +1 Carapace. And that could be the difference maker. It's going to be close. It's going to be close. As much as Telia has been controlling this game, she's also been throwing more bodies at Miyamori and also missing some injects probably here and there. So while she should be dominating supply, perhaps if she was using her minerals and gas as fast as possible, it's actually Miyamori who manages to edge out ahead in that supply, even on workers now. But it's Miyamori pushing forward here. She has the roach speed, so that even if this was a problem, even if it was a mistake to push out, she could always try and retreat. But she's going up against someone who has +1 Carapace. I mean, really good stuff here from Miyamori, not to just crumble under all that pressure. Telia trying to make up for her lack of injects or larvae just in general, right, by adding on another hatchery. Unfortunately, this hatchery creates this really weird wall where now she's going to be choked in defensively. And usually not an ideal place to be, especially if your opponent has corrosive vials and you don't. This +1 Carapace is going to really have to kick in because Telia is behind in army, but Defender's Advantage is also going to kick in as Miyamori's army is not entirely on the front lines. In fact, some of it just forgotten about here, and F2 would have to be in order. Telia also starting to really misrally her overlords. We have 4 overlords that could technically be killed. If this queen wants to chew through every single one, it'll take a while, but it could technically happen. Telia's going to push what she thinks is an advantage. She has the upgrade. She's constantly clicking, no doubt, on Miyamori's. Oh my god, we had Banelings. We had Banelings run into the natural. 10 drones go down. Telia now down in drones, down in army supply, but still with that +1 Carapace. She's remaking the drones. She has +2 attack on the way, but she can't know that Miyamori doesn't also have an upgrade on the way. If she knew that she would have a 2 upgrade lead if she waited just 30 more seconds, she would wait, I'm pretty sure. And as I say that, the hatchery goes down, and she doesn't lose that many roaches for the trade. 5 drones as well. Miyamori now down in drones after that big Baneling hit. It's a bit back and forth, more than I anticipated. Miyamori is still holding strong. Just going to instantly replace that 3rd base. She had the minerals to do so. Going to be looking for better engagements. But now she will be down 2-1, and Telia, again, constantly clicking on the units. We'll see. Oh my god, I actually have a 2 upgrade lead. As long as she doesn't do something really silly, like take half of the army and engage, and Telia would win most battles. But that silly thing I'm talking about might just be a requirement. This little task force is bigger than a usual task force. Kills the 3rd base, sure. Makes this an all-in for realsies, but Now it's a little awkwardly behind. She's gonna lose a big chunk of her roaches on the defense before the rest of the army comes forward here, and she's down 30 supply. How much of those 2 upgrades going to contribute if she's down by even 40? By the time the rest of her army makes it through here. Now the Ravagers of Miyamori are caught on the backside, and that is unfortunate. But she is up 40 army supply. The now only up by 20, but that's because 13 roaches are in production. This is still kind of testy. 22 roaches of Telia against the 43 of Miyamori. Those upgrades are really got to kick in. Miyamori goes for the kill, goes for the throat, just moves into the army. But those upgrades should really be highlighted in situations like these. And now reinforcements do flood in from behind. Also able to grab the Ravagers of Miyamori. This is so close. Miyamori does have a 3rd base on the way. It's about to be finished, so she can finally have some appropriate mining. But it looks like this attack is not going to work out. And she has been down in drones, down in mining in general for some time. This is Celia's time to really shine as she survives the attack with all of her bases, all of her drones, just about anyways. These drones are trying to be sniped off. It doesn't really work out. And that is a hold. The 4th base is now on the way, and she has clear sight of this 3rd base. I believe she'll figure out soon enough that it is the only 3rd base. It's not a sneaky 4th or other 3rd with this 4th. And know that she'll be in quite a good position. Up 2 upgrades, up in drones, up in army supply. Now going on to Tumbling Claws and Burrow. It was scary for a second there, but Celia shines through and is going to take the first game, undoubtedly. Oh, these overlords. I guess not as many died as I thought they would. Queens take a long time to go overlords, really, so it kind of makes sense. So they managed to escape. That could have perhaps been a nasty supply block, but it didn't happen. It looks like Telia was maxed out in supply anyways. This attack should go well enough for Telia to be worth it. If not, just end the game right here, right now. Miyamori not going to be able to survive. Down to 7, 6, 5. Back up to 6 roaches. But even running into some corrosive vials. GG. Telia takes game number 1. It's certainly a closer game than I was expecting. Not just because it's Telia, but because Miyamori was under a lot of pressure and just did that thing that people, you know, they don't do a lot. Even pros. There's the pros that deal well with cheeses and all lanes, and it's a lot because they can remain calm and do their macro, which they believe to be better anyways. And then the pros that buckle and get tilted. And that's when you start seeing people really get interrupted. They have perfect macro until you drop a single marine in their base and suddenly everything goes to hell. And so very commendable there. But Miyamori is going to choose Blue Shift. Very popular second map choice today. It's the new Catalyst. And, well, it's basically Catalyst turned on its side. Thank you, Ikazura, for the Prime sub. Hey, as well as Anonymous gifting a sub to Chibi Miharu for the 2 months. Thank you, Anonymous. No bully WoW plays. I'm not bullying WoW. I'm bullying people who still have a WoW that they, or a name that they generated from WoW 8 years ago. I never use the random name generator. Not in WoW anyways. Or any other long form RPG. In like games like, what am I thinking of here? Like Northgard, for instance, you can randomize your name. Yeah, I'm gonna randomize my name there, but I always had my roleplay characters to name. And I always made them pretty night elves. Look, okay, I was a pretty big weeb back in the day. And I did a lot of roleplaying, so... That's my shame to live with. I'm actually not at all embarrassed by it. It was a really fun time. Live journal roleplaying was legit. Forum roleplaying was legit. I loved roleplaying on WoW whenever I did it. Didn't do it very often. But it was fun, guys. Judge me all you want. Most people are probably gonna judge me for playing Blood Elf, though, so... Let's be real. I'm ready for it. Alright, on the top right, as the blue Zerg, she is Miyamori. On the bottom left, as the pink Zerg, she is Telia. I basically destroyed the RTS genre. That's weird. That's a weird thing to say. Did it, though? Miyamori is the best pun. Oh, that's a good point. It's not something I really thought of. Miyamori. Miyamori. It's just kind of Miyamori. I mean, if you're pronouncing it in the accent, you know, the French accent, it would certainly sound like my love. If you're pronouncing it with a Japanese accent, it would certainly sound more like a Japanese name, but... Since I cannot do either without potentially being called out for making fun of it. Plus, I just can't do it because I'm not of either region. I'll just try my best. So. Miyamori, looking quite good. Telia, you know, I think we've seen her once or twice underestimate her opponent or, you know, be freaked out a little bit by something a little weird. She's mostly fixed those gaps in her play as she's practiced more and more and gotten back into StarCraft more and more. But, well, it's cost her some games. Otherwise, she usually, or always, wins the series anyways. And in that last game, it didn't cost her anything. I don't think she really underestimated Miyamori. That is the type of stuff that Telia usually does. But maybe she would have been a little more conservative with some Lings, you know. She really thought that there'd be a strong counter. Maybe she would have been a little more conservative with some of those roach pushes that she did. You know, where she was up only one upgrade, but going into Defender's Advantage, Concave, higher army supply. Not that she really knows that, but everything else she would recognize. I mean, they're a little bit testy. Little suspicious. Like, I don't know about this. But ends up winning the game, and now she has a clear understanding of what Miyamori can throw at her. So, already up one, she has the advantage. I think she has the advantage as well, just for all the reasons I always list when we cast Telia. But I think she also now understands her opponent. If she didn't before, I don't know if she was able to ask anyone about her play style or watch any of her games. I don't think either one of those things happened, so that would have been one of the only times she gotten a clear read on her opponent. We once again have a lot of Lings flooding through here. Miyamori has the appropriate overlords to see it, though, and does have her own Lings, as well as a Baneling nest again, building 6 Banelings here. The trades were not bad, and all the while, Miyamori was droning appropriately when she thought she had a handle on things, so that should happen again here. Couple of decent Baneling. One Baneling hit was decent, the other one was not so decent. Another not so decent one, but, you know, chipping away at the Ling count one by one, even with your own Banelings, Miyamori is producing more faster, right, with Defender's Advantage, so she's eventually going to overwhelm the Lings with her own Lings. So their +1 Carapace follow-up, build order, whatever you want to call it, for Telia. And once again, she should be looking towards that 1-1 attack. But in her eyes, hopefully with more of an advantage, she's taken on the Baneling force of her opponent rather well. Takes out one of the last Banelings, but wanted to take out these forming Banelings, misses one, and now has to be very careful with this. Miyamori Ditto once to provide the aggression to take down this third base, punish Telia for initiating this contest without Banelings and with investing so many resources into +1 Carapace. It's something that if you control things correctly, you should be able to punish. But that is the key, isn't it? That's the key to StarCraft. Do you control things correctly? Do you really do everything perfectly? Just because shoulds doesn't mean that they woulds. That's a saying right there. It got close. It got really close. But Miyamori, despite being up in supply, it is getting closer to that +1 Carapace time. Woo! Ooh, big thanks to Monty, and you can call out in a second as we still have a lot of Lings coming forward. And Telia, I thought she was producing enough, but without her own Banelings, without the +1 Carapace of her own, she's being overwhelmed here. This is where Banelings are so necessary against other Banelings. Uh-oh, Telia has 26 Lings on the way now, and they're so damn close to having that +1 Carapace, but things are looking really, really scary. Miyamori is going to go for the throat. She's not stopping at the third base to kill it. She's going for the natural, but the Queen is there to help out. Snipes the Baneling. One more Baneling is there, though, and actually more are being made, too. The queen goes down. No more queens in production. Telia is running out of larva? No, she's just not producing right now. There we go. More production here. As she needs to spend her minerals. She's so close to surviving, and she's not that far down in drones. Bit of a misclick from Miyamori. She should be on top of those right now. Only up 3 drones. If Telia could hold on here, she's got +1 carapace. The queen from the main comes down to the natural to help out, but 6 drones, 7 drones, 8 drones. That's it. GG. Miyamori takes game number 2 to tie things up, and this would be quite a shock if Telia was knocked out by someone we just don't know. Thank you so much to Matsun, who gives 10 tier 1 subs to the community. Congratulations if you were one of them to get it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And also thank you to Lord Philium for the tier 1 sub. That was certainly where Telia would be weakest. I'm thinking Telia won't try that build again. It was already a little bit scared to try it after the first game was held. Even if it wasn't punished, it was held. Yeah. More looking pretty strong in ZVZ in all phases even. Ling Baneling, she was solid enough. Roaches, solid enough. You know, making usually the right call, just falling behind here and there. So I'm surprised that she lost the game to Kisu, but maybe I'm not giving Kisu enough credit. Automaton is the choice for Telia, because she can't choose Blue Shift again, probably. Oh, God. I think it'd be very wise of Telia to go on her own banelings, not just because they would ensure things like that don't happen, or, well, they'd reduce the risk of stuff like that happening, but because her own banelings would mean the ping disadvantage really shows itself, you know, with Miyamori having the big exploding banelings. I mean, obviously she still has to control them correctly, and that was some of the one-for-one trades that aren't ideal, but it gets a lot more dangerous trying to control them on a second delay, half a second delay, if your opponent also has banelings. You know, it's the difference of trading 1 baneling for 1 ling, you know, and with you trading out the baneling, that kind of sucks, and you trading 20 lings for their 1 baneling, right? Like, one's a little worse than the other. So those are the reasons I would think that we'd see a baneling as this game. But Telia might have different plans. She got to choose the map, and she might have something special planned for Automaton. In the middle, upper right-ish, whatever, right, it is the pink Zerg, Telia. In the middle, bottom left, is the red Zerg. She is Miyamori. Coming from the European server. Didn't catch what country she's from. I just asked her EU or NA. Seems like we have a decent amount of Russian folk joining in. So maybe Russia. But we also have a fairly strong Russian community backing some of these people up. Like, I know we had some people cheering for... Oh, Ritzia earlier today. And you think they'd be cheering for Miyamori. But yeah, I just don't know. A part of me when I asked her would have, like, it was like kind of like hoping, but knew it would never really happen that she was Japanese. Not for, like, I don't know, weeaboo purposes, but just because the Japanese scene isn't really highlighted, but there is a weekly tournament, I think, for their scene, and Psyarch is a decent... Oh, shit, what race is he? Player? Question mark? That does participate in tournaments every now and again. It's like never talked about. But oh well. I mean, if she was from any part of East Asia, that's very late in the night. I don't know why that donation got it, but whoever donated $5 earlier, it still hasn't popped up, so again, sorry about that. Thank you, Lord Philium, for the elite $13.37 donation. ZG, are you thinking of going to the Clash Finals for fun? Are you talking to Blizzard about WCS Winter? Classroom is in Italy, right? I would love to visit Italy, but I really don't have the money to do so. I had health problems. I mean, I still have health problems, but I tried to fix my health problems last year, and that was just money down the sink. And then I also spent money on a trip to Germany as well as this chair, so... You know, one was necessary, basically. One was important for my future, which is the chair, and one was totally unnecessary, but something I wanted to do, which is Home Story Cup, and it doesn't leave with much cash left, you know. So I don't think I'll be making it over there. Anyways, to the second part of the question, I can't discuss even if I was, so it's pretty pointless to ask anyone about that. Roddy, you can kind of assume, is usually being talked about with any tournament, but even he will be like, yeah, I can't say anything, and he'll be all cheeky about it. So apparently Miyamori has the German flag on Wikipedia, so we're gonna guess German. We're gonna assume that's correct for now, until something else is said. So I was right, Telia does go for her own Bailey Nest. It's a little behind Miyamori, but Miyamori has been waiting for Telia's attack before she makes her own Baneling, so I think that timing's gonna be fine. Sometimes a timing like that can be hit by the faster Baneling player if they already have their lings on this side of the map ready to go when it gets a little awkward. But I think this will be alright. Miyamori does not see the Baneling nest of Telia. Telia does not see the Baneling nest of Miyamori. Oh, no, she did. Okay. Well, it's also the assumption. It's a wise assumption, too. Both hatcheries finishing up here. It's going to be a battle of Ling Baneling, but keyword Baneling this time, as they both are going to have it. Telia sees the Banelings on the offensive. She's going to have to make her own, but did she leave any back there to build Banelings? No, she's trying to rally them forward. Now building Banelings. She's going to have to protect them. The Queen would want to get involved. Queen, by the way, nice and tucked in there. Some nice SimCity, as that will be important to help focus fire down Banelings. If she had a second one, it'd be really easy. 2-for-1 trade is good. Another 2-for-1 trade being looked for. Not going to be found, but the two Banelings here are going to look for the three Banelings. They are not going to find it. And a 2-for-2 might not be good enough for Telia. One Baneling left over here. Okay, these trades are really, really, really close, but Telia is barely holding on. Defender's advantage doesn't mean much when you have exploding Baneling pops. Sometimes it can mean nothing at all. She really needs to get her own Banelings here. Another Baneling crashes into her. Some Lings are off to the left side to attack the third base, so that is going to be under threat. If Miyamori wins the Ling War but can't quite break through the natural, then the third base could always be a target. Miyamori continuing to flood Lings. Telia needs to read into this. She needs to be paying attention to her Overlord to make sure she doesn't accidentally start making Lings, or drones, sorry, and just continues to make Lings. Miyamori's gonna go for the very bold move to go into the main base. It can be very dangerous because you don't have a lot of Banelings to protect your backside, and even if you did have one or two, there's a Queen there to focus fire it. I'm looking towards the Banelings, so those are gonna maybe get the big hits, though. Two are trapped! That might have been a worthwhile trap, just make sure that not enough got in to take out the drones. One Baneling does not hit the drones to completion. They would still live. It's two or more. And that might have been a worthwhile dive. That was a hard choice to make. She lost a lot of Lings for two Banelings, but she stopped them from getting into the main and heading towards that drone line. Queen's not going to go on the offensive, as she did make an additional one at her natural. She also tried to make one to the third, but it just got popped off there really easily. Good focus fire on the Banelings, but 5 more are on the way. 2 Queens from the top side coming down to help out. 2 Banelings of Telia ready to go, just about. There they are, and that's going to help things speed the macro process along, as now we got to start talking about the macro. Miyamori stopped flooding Lings and built 10 drones, now up 10 drones. Oh, good trade there for Telia. Is going to look to pile on some pressure. She's got +1 melee, not Carapace, so she cannot survive the hits. But even if she had slightly less Ling, she would be able to win the Ling Wars. That's what you're hoping for there. Telia, very tough stuff there. Even with the server advantage, she was having some trouble, but Miyamori maybe getting too far ahead with these drones. Still up 10. Telia not putting a lot into her own drones. She's seeing maybe an opportunity, but it's so hard to really make +1 melee work up against Banelings. You don't get that get out of jail free card, or partially free. You lost some limbs card. Like you do with +1 Carapace. Ooh, God. 1 Baneling for 3 is very good, but Miyamori is missing more Banelings to help her out. She's on her way to Road. She's not going to have been a fatal mistake. It looks like it was a fatal mistake. +1 melee Lings on top of drones. No, no, no. Instantly, 16 drones go down. Hey, no, there must have been Banelings somewhere else that I missed, right? I don't know how 16 drones went down that quickly, but 22 drones go down, and suddenly Telia is up in supply everywhere. She has that +1 melee to help out against the roaches as well. So even if Miyamori got a decent amount, let's say 16, it still might be a struggle to get across the map and hit before Telia is ready to go. Miyamori showing really strong stuff here with her Ling Baneling attacks. But Telia is still overcoming. Nice positioning in the mineral line to hold on to whatever's left of her third base. But 28 drones down does not look good for our red Zerg. Telia getting her own roaches and +1 missile now. And if she sees that the roaches are on their way across the map, she could just try and flood with Lings, similar to what we saw in the last series that I cast. That is an option, especially with +1 melee. Gets a little difficult, though. If Miyamori goes for an all-in and brings Banelings along, the Lings of Telia would not be able to survive, so roaches are the far safer choice if she can buy time to get there. She sees the army moving across the map. It's really not that scary of an army, especially if there's no Banelings tagging it along. So Telia should be feeling okay, but it's always a little scary before you get to your own roaches. She's also maybe a little behind in gas. Oh, no, seven roaches. Okay, that's good. Not a lot to remake, or to make any of her own Banelings, which you could try and trade out. She's gonna go for the third base, and this is already an all-in. It's definitely an all-in now. They're gonna survive and go for the behind the back attack, which might work out. She could grab the Banelings if they're lagging behind and just take those out with 1 or 2 Lings. I think with all forces combined here, Telia is gonna take the win, but the army supply very close. I don't wanna call it too soon. Yeah, the Lings finding 1 or 2 roaches on the backside. Easy peasy taking them out. +1 melee Lings getting the wraparound of what is only a few roaches, really. Queens even with some transfuse. This is gonna be it. GG. Telia takes the 2-1 and advances on to the finals, but oof, got a little close. Got a little close. I have to look up what this word is. Oh, I love that bread. That's delicious. I don't know how to pronounce it, though. Thank you, D64D64, for the $9.40. One future authentic focaccia. I don't know. Here you go. I don't know how to say it, but I know what it is, and I know it's delicious. I wish. So I'm gonna hop over to the European server. So the semifinals is all Europe. Thank you, SH4NQ, or Shank, for that tier 1 sub. I thought I told you not to make sounds. Port Alexander. Here's the default first map of the semifinals, just like the last one, I just forgot. Looks like QB might have just been over on NA. Waiting. Is that a Harma Military? Yeah. So it's rather pricey. Which girl group was that? Let's see here. I'm not sure when you asked that. I think it's towards the last donation though, right? And there was a Mama Moo with Girl Crush. Trip to Germany broke my bank, but Horse Cup's the best thing ever. Yeah. Well, when you spend so much time with the poker table preacher, I mean, come on now. Might have been cheaper to fly to Germany for the health problem. Oh my God, you're totally right. Actually, I had a discussion with someone, the creator of the Banshees, in fact, about the same thing. Thank you, Preacher, for the 15 months. Banshees are awesome. They're especially awesome versus Protoss. Am I right, guys? Am I right? Ba-dum-tsh. Okay. Aiba and Adesu versus QB, ZVZ on Port Alexander. The other semifinals, another best of 3. This one should not be as close, as much as it pains me to say it. Aiba and Adesu has some strong game plans. I think she's like, if her mechanics were better, if she was like Masters 2, I think she has really strong ways of approaching a tournament. But unfortunately, QB is the stronger of the two, just mechanically. Being Masters 1, I'm pretty sure, on Europe. Which, weirdly enough, I know everyone is like, you know, gold Korea is Masters NA and, you know, all those jokes aside. Weirdly enough, Masters 1 on Europe is easier to get than Masters 1 on NA, but then getting a GM is, like, substantially harder in Europe, so it's that weird thing. Alright, it is green versus orange. Perfect. In the top left is the green Zerg. She is QB. The bottom right is the orange Zerg. She is Aiba and Adesu. I feel like we heard some drones being canceled, but the mechanical larva pop sometimes sounds like a cancel instead. Confuses me. We do have a pool first versus a hatchery first. They're both showing some love to each other. All love here in the Banshee tournament, except when you're not Ragnarok Ket and you're an imposter. Then there's no love for you. Wherever the hell that was. There's a red cat? Cats aren't usually red. I think orange and maybe some intense orange, but they're not usually red. I'm doing LASIK down in Korea. I don't think LASIK is 5K, but like it's definitely more expensive. I don't know. I've somewhat looked into it. On the list of surgeries I would like done, I would like 0 to have to be done, but of the ones that I think I will eventually get, I guess is the better way to put it. I would go to Korea for basically all of them. Because I would go to Korea anyways, right? So I'm gonna, you know, do the tourist what's the phrase for when you medical tourism. If I was gonna do the medical tourism thing, it'd be Korea just because tourism, but also because some of it has to do with skin, and Korea is rather well known for its skincare and cosmetic surgery. I say that and people might assume that I mean like plastic surgery, like for my nose or something, but I'm talking like scar lessening. Is that the word for it? I don't know. And then below that is getting my eyes fixed. But yes, all of it's cheaper. All of it's cheaper basically everywhere. America. Anyways, so this early Ling attack from QB wasn't meant to do much, and it didn't do very much. But Aiba kind of, I would say over defends, but I think it's clear that she wanted to initiate a counterattack. So we had that, you know, kind of premature but totally expected part of ZVZ, just a little sooner than expected, right? Where they both make lings in response to other people's lings, and then you try and fit in drones when the other person is too busy thinking of defending. So what we have, what looks to be a typical Ling Baneling fest going on here, that usually has a third base being the primary target. We're missing the third bases for both sides, but they should both be getting into it soon enough. Aiba going first, and then QB following suit, not too shortly behind. I was gonna say unless she's doing it all in, but she's not. She's going for drones. The mechanical sounds are kind of freaking me out lately. I don't know why I'm paying more attention to them. Something happened in my brain. So I'm still surprised QB has gone for third. There we go. There we go. Okay, that makes more sense. So that is, I mean, that's a quite a bit later of a third. It's been half a hatchery. I don't know if it'll matter too much though. It's still not too substantial. Bailey's being made a little bit late for the party. The trying to arrive fashionably late, and they're gonna arrive and everyone's gonna be dead. That's not a party I really want to go to. We hear them crash in the natural, which wasn't really the target anymore, as the main base seemed to be where I thought QB's Lings are going to go for the micro on top of the drones, but a little bit of a misclick, miss-micro. Maybe she thought she clicked on something and then didn't, and then looked back over here only to lose the Lings. I don't know, something happened there. A little bit awkward, kind of a waste of 6, 8 Lings, something like that. But as long as she's trying to get the macro behind this stronger than Aiba, then it's almost like, does this really all matter here? What matters is how many drones you have at the end of it and whether or not you can survive the counterattack, right? If they even initiate one, sometimes they're not going to do so. They're just glad that you stopped attacking them. And in this case, Aiba is going for a lair, despite going for a lot of Lings and Banelings, or a couple extra Banelings. So I think that she will just kind of deal with being on the defensive and not really go for any counter. Or even try and send out a run-by, which you can do. You know, if you're confident in your Baneling control, you can send out 10 Lings and just hope that you can defend. But, maybe I spoke too soon about the defending thing. Oh no. Oh no. Oh lordy! Okay. So the 2 Banelings that arrived behind ended up helping out a lot as QB, unfortunately for her, traded out 4-2. And with all things considered, ends up losing a bit of steam despite finding a bit of an opening. That was really weird to see. It was just a simple, you having your army just not close enough to be AI'd into it, which I guess versus Banelings, that's not what you want anyways. And then also the wall wasn't exactly a wall, so we had all sorts of weird micro going on that eventually favored is kind of a strong word, Aiba, but the point is she didn't lose any drones to it, I guess. She's up 3 drones and behind a hell of a lot of army supply. QB's got an attack, an attack, an attack, and more attacks. The Banelings roll into not that many drones, and honestly not that many Lings, but that's only because there's not that many Lings to begin with for Aiba, who, unfortunately, as the injects pop, now she's making 16 Lings. It's going to be a little bit too late to save that 3rd base. On fire, but healing through it. Zerg, please. But it will go down, and QB now has the 3rd base advantage. More Lings on the way, +1 melee on the way. Who cares if Aiba has this lair, which she no doubt meant to make a Spire as soon as possible, but was delayed in trying to defend. She had the minerals and gas, but just probably focusing on other things. Queen is gonna go down. Too bad, too. That had a lot of transfuses in it. Not that it can really transfuse anything here. This is the weirdest wall, guys. But it is a wall now. It is a wall. Aiba's gotten really sick and tired of having Lings and Banelings run through, and she's gonna try to get to Spire anyway, which eventually give her a lead technology-wise. It looks like she's still gonna lose the game. The Banelings initially went for the natural, but with a good split, they just go ahead and say, okay, whatever, and go to the main base. Another good split from Aiba, but when they split, they're now open for surrounds by the Lings, so either way, not looking so hot. Aiba bought enough time to get her own Baneling, and it does crash in rather well to the green Lings. But everything is so chaotic. QB knows about the Spire at this point as well, so she can get some defensive stuff going on here. Even if it's only Spore Crawlers, she's gonna go for her own Spire, which is certainly a dangerous choice to make, but in this circumstance, it is perfectly fine. Is there a chance that Aiba has 800 in the bank? Sure, there's a chance. But she probably doesn't. And, you know, with only 2, 3 mutas, eventually 4 and 5, QB will have the stronger economy to make more mutas, get more mutas eventually, whether it's in 2 or 3 minutes, whichever one. And we'll still eventually win this game. And then there's some Spore Crawlers as well. She has the extra minerals to afford to do that, so she won't be dying to any surprise muta numbers. I saw this documentary called Unbreakable. Kimmy Schmidt. Oh my god. The mutas reveal themselves. Ooh, it's the cool zombie-ish mutas. They would never actually flap their wings if they were like that. Man, are they spiky though? Why would they ever need spikes there? You know what? If this was Brood War and they had spikes behind their head and it like was legitimate, they could like stick all the Scourge on the back of their head and they wouldn't die to them. That's how that would work, right? The wall is under fire, literally. QB is not being intimidated by a wall at any point in this game. I was putting up a heck of a fight, but it is going to go in QB's favor, especially when she shows the 6 mutas she's currently getting with +1 Carapace too. And she can afford it, and she knows that her opponent goes for mutas, where I think Aiba's still a little bit in the dark. Yeah. With that, with more and more Lings on the way, you could kind of start being like, oh, I guess she's gonna go for mutas too, but It's gonna be a lot more mutas. We're just gonna watch these until they die. I'm surprised these haven't died yet. I really thought they'd be dead. I thought this game would be over. I give a lot of credit to muta comebacks. I do. But now when they're up against other mutas, a higher number. Here it comes. Alright. That's gonna be it. No spore crawlers to fall back to. GG. QB takes game number 1 in the semifinals. Blue shift. Apparently there's a popular StarCraft 2 custom lobby called Gandalf. There's a picture of Gandalf. On Europe. If the arcade was more popular, I'd say it'd be interesting to see what the different regions' or favorite arcade games are. But unfortunately it's not that popular and I don't really care that much. But I know they're different because StarCraft 2 always sends me back to the lobbies portion of custom games, which is quite annoying. Blue Shift, the most popular second chosen map. Well, first chosen map, second map of this tournament. It's just too plain. It's just too plain Jane not to pick. People love plain Jane. She's a cousin of Mary Jane. Everyone loves Mary Jane. I've been on a Spider-Man kick lately because the Spider-Man game is really, really good and I just beat it yesterday. But I still want to like completionist it because it's really, really fun. And I really actually really liked the Mary Jane Peter Parker storyline in that game. The ending was a bit less than satisfactory as far as like being the secret romantic that I am, but the rest of it was pretty solid. It makes me want to go back and reread some of my favorite Spider-Man comics. Never really kept into comics. I got into comics at one point, but I never really stayed in it because it was expensive. Hella expensive. And I got really tired of keeping up with the universes. And then occasionally I'd hear like a new universe created with like a cool hero that I'd want to watch, like the new Miss Marvel or something like that. And I'd buy like the first 10 issues and then it'd be like, oh, this is expensive and it's hard. And then I'd fall off and I'm now behind 40 issues and I'm not going to catch up ever. And before anyone mentions the subscriptions that you can take, the point is I just get out of the hobby really quickly. I actually liked reading the old like original Spider-Man comics, which you can buy in big volumes of like 200 pages. Talked a lot about Spider-Man. I forgot to do the introductions. The bottom left has the orange Zerg going for a hatch first. It is Aiba Inadesit. The top right as the green Zerg going for the pool first. It is QB. I'm guessing these pool first that we've seen from QB in now both games, and perhaps even a third game if it happens, is because she's just taking away the option of dying immediately to an early pool. You know, we saw Ragnarokette try that, and honestly, if the Banelings were morphed more out of vision, more behind the main attack, I think that would have done some damage. And by doing this, you do make it a little bit easier on yourself, even though it still just comes down to execution. You make it easier on yourself if they are doing an early pool. And if they aren't, then you send the sixlings forward, you attack, and maybe it's thwarted easily, no problem, and you fall like the tiniest little bit behind. But I'm thinking QB believes in her macro, believes it's stronger than Aiba's. Her choices in the matter of ZVZ as well, so she's not too scared of having such an opener. In fact, she's going to take advantage here. Gonna lose one Ling, but severely damage all of Aiba's. There we go. More Lings pop forward. So, force the same amount of Lings out from the Orange Zerg. Good stuff. Queen's now popped out to help out, but late to the party as always. Third hatchery on the way for Aiba. QB going for that Bailey Nest first and foremost, despite knowledge of the third base timing. And that's usually in near matchups what happens is like, you go for a third base, I go for a third base. Whether it's TVT, PvP, or ZVZ. Unless you have a very, substantially different plan, like a 2-base all-in. Or a 2-base all-in. So then, that's why that's one of the reasons you don't get a third base. That Bailey Nest is a lot faster for QB because it is not before the third. Or it is before the third, sorry. And QB is making a lot of Lings. So this is, I kind of brought up this. No, is she gonna all-in? She's building some drones. I brought up the idea of 2-base all-inning, just pure Ling and Baneling last game, and then she went back on the drones. Unless she's doing it again here. So third base will be coming down eventually. Oh my god! Sure! Hi! No. Okay, well that was really close. That was close to this game over right then and there. Aiba now on top of her micro is going to trade out a couple Lings for that Baneling, so not so bad, but it's going to lose an Overlord? Nope. Just kidding. Didn't even know that was a spot to go to. But what about the third base? Banelings crashing in and take out a good portion of the Orange Lings here. But more of QB's Banelings are on the way, and that's what's truly scary. More Lings are on the way as well to support them. Queen's coming forward to help snipe them down, but now gonna be vulnerable to full surround. Exactly what happens. Takes out the Quincer Transfuse. Blah, with the Transfuse first. Too many ZVZs. Stop Ling Baneling each other. And that will severely hamper the micro option against these Banelings. Aiba's going to be down to just trying to trade out Lings for them. That's really hard to do, especially when you barely have enough Lings as is. Almost 22 Lings on the way, more. Almost 30 Lings are now on the way for Aiba, who's going to initiate a very strong counter. Her third base is still alive, and she's going to go after the forming third base of QB. She almost takes out a Queen, but ooh, that Transfuse was like just to be a little, okay, 10 seconds available. But still nicely done there for QB to save that. Now going to be able to instantly inject a third base. And when it comes to the Ling Wars, it's really a larva war. And while Aiba managed to save her third base, she's still making that Queen over there, so quite some time to wait. Banelings once again behind the Ling encounter, so Aiba can never feel too confident just running forward. And in fact, 2 more Banelings coming from the middle here. Almost get the back attack. Aiba has to wait for her own Banelings, of which she only has 2. She starts up +1 melee, but that's fairly late, and she's under a lot of pressure. Good split here from QB to make sure she doesn't trade out inefficiently. In fact, oh, the Banelings go to save the third base, but I don't know if they can. They get some decent hits, but the third base is still gonna go down. Meanwhile, the drones, I guess the Banelings didn't really hit well enough, because we didn't see any drones go down. Maybe 1, but not enough to bring up that kill counter. Which is more than 1, if you guys didn't know. Lots of Banelings defensively for QB, or defensively for now. She's going to easily scare away Aiba's attack. Queen still with a lot of Transfuse as well, in case the hatchery was ever target fired or something along those lines. Also could place a Creep Tumor to help out a little bit. Banelings coming from the backside is a very sneaky move. I'm going to guess this is on purpose, but 3 Banelings in the front also available. There's tons of Banelings coming out here from the Orange Zerg, but not a lot of Lings to support them anymore as they've been surrounded and taken out by the Queens. And now an easy escape. Oh! Okay, dokie. Easy escape from the Banelings from behind, as now they look silly for even trying to do so. They're just going to die to 1 Ling each, probably. Aiba's making more Banelings in the appropriate location to defend, and they are going to finish just barely in time, it seems. More Lings for both sides, but that +1 melee, I thought it was so late. I didn't think it was going to end up helping here. It is going to help with the direct Ling to Ling wars. That third base dying and then not getting injects for so long, even. Should start to really contribute to the larva count of Aiba. Not so far, but it's only because, well, she's only... Well, okay, well, even if she uses all of her larva, she's still down in army supply. Still down in the drone supply. Only advantage here is the +1 melee, which only really helps out when you're down to the Lings. That's a lot of Banelings. That's so many Banelings. Okay, those drones are probably dead. They are, in fact, dead. More importantly, how is the main looking? 1 hits the drones, 2 hits the drones. That is 9 drones dead in total after already being down in drones, and the Ling Wars back and forth, end up going in favor of QB, who will advance on to the finals to once again face Telia. Years from now,